Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host Khalid Mohideen. This is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. Today we'll be talking about the restructure in South African cricket, everything that's happening with regards to that, and obviously the different teams that are in the different divisions. We're going to be getting Aditya on the show as well to come talk to us because he attended the press conference, so he has some nice insight into giving us what some of the guys that were in that press conference, what they had to say, what their vision is for the future of South African cricket with regards to this new restructure. We'll also give a little bit of our own opinions about it and say what we think should happen and what we think is going to happen and how it will improve South African cricket, as well as the lower systems with regards to school cricket. It also will maybe on something like club cricket as well, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. What I'm going to do first and foremost, before I bring Aditya onto the show, is I'm going to talk to you guys about the 4-day competition and just give you a quick update on what is happening. But before we get going, before we go any further, click that subscribe button, click that notification bell for all future videos as well. I'm going to be turning on the live chat right now, the super chat. If you guys want to get questions in or you want to ask me any questions, there's the instructions on the screen. So let's have a quick read. You have to go to the bottom left-hand corner of the live chat, click the $sign, and you can donate with a question. So let's get into it. I'm going to first and foremost give you guys a quick update on what's happening. I was obviously live at Newlands. As we know that they declared yesterday on 513 for 6. Obviously, Calvarena scoring that massive double century. They did get a wicket before the end of play, but today it was quite a fight from the Warriors. It was a fight back. Even though they were down 109, 137 for 7, 193 for 8. They've now went on to finish the day on 243 for 259. That's how they ended up the day. Marco Jansen particularly was excellent. He scored a 50. Amani scored a 55, which was excellent from him. We saw how he performed in the T20 Challenge. And Andrich Nokia putting on a battling 26 over there, a very hard-fought 26. We call him, obviously, Andrich JK Nokia. That's after he's showed a little bit what he can do with the bat as a night watchman for South Africa as well. Then we can go over to the televised game, which is the Titans versus the Knights. Now, we know the Knights declared on 414 for 9. It was an excellent performance. That was after, obviously, bowling out the Titans for 263. We know that an excellent 142 from Van Beerding, Patrick Kruger scored 69, and Sean van Berg with another 58, another half century over there for that man. And obviously a 52 for Reinhard van Tonder, continuously scoring runs, and this time scoring a half century at Centurion. Now, people have obviously been talking about him, that he can't score at other grounds. He's been doing it excellently, and I think that's something that is adding to his game. He's now scoring at other grounds. He did it at Durban in the T20 Challenge. Now we know we can score it in Durban as well. He did score a 60 in Durban before in first-class cricket, however. We still have yet to see him score at Newlands. So I'm hoping in the next game, the Cobras are going to be taking on the Knights at Newlands. So I'm hoping that this is an opportunity for me to see Reinhard van Tonder actually get a milestone at Newlands, because it's a ground that is different to what he's used to. So then he can really conquer the country and say, look here, I don't only score my runs in Bloemfontein, like people say. The reply from the Titans, now in their second innings, we have Markram and Aiden and Markram. Markram and Dean, obviously, with an excellent partnership up front. They on 162, not out, both of the two of them with a partnership. And Aiden Markram's leading the charge with a 90 ball, 191. Saw him play quite aggressively against the spin as well, which I liked. Some explosive sweep shots, especially against Van Berg, which I really thought was something to be very proud of from his perspective, because Sean van Berg is one of the best domestic spinners that we have currently in the system. A very experienced guy and very good with the ball in hand. Dean Elgar, captain, fantastic now. He's a new captain. So that's an excellent performance from that side. Then we've got the Lions. The Highfield Lions currently need 228 runs to win. So this game is one of those games that looks like that might get a result or could get a result. Where the other two games are looking that like ending maybe particularly could end in a draw. Most likely the Titans game will end in a draw. And the six young girl Cobras against the Dolphins looking like it probably will also end in a draw because tomorrow there is a hint of rain coming their way. Apparently it's supposed to rain the whole day, but we don't know what it's going to be like tomorrow. The weather can always change in Cape Town. You never know. But the Lions are now, as I said, chasing 228 runs to win. We can say they're obviously one down for 21, but we've got Ryan Rickleton and Reza Hendricks at the crease. Let's see what they can do. Obviously, Ryan Rickleton scoring, I think it was 194. Unfortunate 6 runs from his double century. We would have had 2 young guys scoring a double century in this particular week, which would have been excellent. Still a great performance from Ryan Rickleton in the first innings. Let's see if he can continue it in the second innings. So that's what's happening, guys, currently in the domestic scene, in the 4-day competition. Very exciting final day ahead. So let's get into it. Let's get into the domestic setup. Let's talk about the new restructure. I'm going to bring Aditya onto the stream right now. Welcome to the show, Aditya. So long that I haven't spoken to you. When I don't see you, I do miss you. So welcome to the show again.
Thanks, brother. I miss you too.
Yeah, man. So in India, is everything going well? The lockdown, etc. How's everything?
Yeah, interesting times, man. We're having a surge in cases in Mumbai and Maharashtra, the state that we're in, and it appears as if there might be a few restrictions in place, but nothing has been announced just yet. Let's see. Fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about this new structure, domestic structure. Can you give me some update? Just give me an update of the press conference. Summarize it for me. What actually took place in the press conference, and what was some of the highlights of it?
Right. Okay. So first, I'm going to tell you the people that spoke for the most part. So one is Mr. Muzeki Fuleti, who's the acting CEO. There's Rian Richards, who's acting president. There's Dave Richardson, who is the independent consultant whose task force essentially made the recommendations that Cricket South Africa is now implementing for this new structure. And we had Andrew Bretsky, who was the SACA representative. So he was talking about contracting, while the rest of the chat was about the structure in place and how they arrived at this structure being the best way forward for South African cricket. So essentially what they said was that this was a 5-year process that began in 2016 when they realized that the 16 franchise system needs to pave way for a larger system with more teams. And so they came up with a 15-team structure, which will be divided to 8 and 7 teams, Division 1 and Division 2. So Division 1 teams are going to compete to stay in Division 1, and Division 2 teams are going to fight it out to get promoted to Division 1. And that essentially, the entire promotion and relegation idea was the reason that they came up with this system, because Dave Richardson felt that in a 6-team system, the team that comes 6th, there's no real consequence for it, for its poor performance through season. And when you put that context and when you put that consequence in a domestic structure, it elevates performance, or it certainly heightens the excitement levels for the competition as well as the fans following the competition. And the consequences are not only just for teams and players, it's also off-field stuff, such as there could be financial repercussions, you could lose sponsors. So there's a lot riding on performance, and that was the underlying sort of objective for creating the structure.
Obviously, we saw the teams. I just popped it on the screen right now. We're going to pop it on the screen again. There were some guys that I particularly was upset about that are missing out, and that's particularly Easterns, who won the tournament semi-pro competition. Who've been quite successful over the last 3 years. And then we look at the team like Border, and Border have been one of the main teams with regards to creating new talent through the system. Their performances haven't really matched that, and especially in recent times. And they're one of those teams that were used to playing, being one of the top teams in the country, and they're very good with, especially in the youth system. They're very good. Can you maybe just give us some insight into what they said about how they selected the teams? Because I know there was a bidding structure, but obviously when you bid for something and you have to put your names forward, there needs to be certain structures in place. Of course, financially, you have to look at your system, transformation, all of those couple of things. What were the main points that they looked at when it comes to selecting the teams that were going to be in Division 1?
Right. So they followed a 7-dimensional system, which includes cricket services, that is, pathways to development, what how coaches are developing players. Then there's infrastructure, cricket stadium, and so on. Then there's revenues, there's governance of the body. Then there's transformation. There is what else? We had opportunities for commercialization, and there's one more. So so it was essentially around these factors that the bidding process took place. Administration, sorry, that was the last one. So what Dave Richardson said about Border was that they had a fantastic cricket culture, and the region in general has a lot of untapped talent. But through the bidding process, through the evaluation process, using these criteria, he found that the revenues weren't good enough to deserve a Division 1 spot, and they felt that the game wasn't being managed and administered in a way that it should be, and therefore it was a Division 2 team. And not to mention the performances, of course. As you said, the performances, the team have not really matched the talent that is available. So perhaps with this system, there'll probably be more of an investment in that talent. They'll nurture that talent better, and hopefully two seasons of some decent performances will help them get up to Division 1.
Yeah, I mean, recently being bowled out for 16 was not a very good, didn't make a very good look of the selection process for this. What I'm very happy about is that Boland has been put into Division 1. Now, for me, that's very important, especially after the Paul Rocks one, because we kind of know that division is going to be, those eight teams are going to obviously get an MSL selection as well. They're going to get an MSL team as well. So it's exciting that we're going to maybe see 2 new MSL teams. So that means more opportunities for more international players to come play in the MSL. It's going to give more youngsters, more rookies an opportunity to play with these international stars. So it's going to open up the game completely. What I like about this is there's going to be now incentive from the bottom division to actually fight and play. At the moment, I feel there's not a lot of incentive at the moment with regards to semi-pro cricket. There wasn't enough incentive. You had all these teams playing, but there was no competitiveness in the union. So if you want to improve, if you want to get more sponsors, if you want to get a better system, all of those type of things, you need to play really, really well. And you need to want to get promoted. So it also is going to put a lot of competitiveness in the top division. I mean, that's going to be excellent as well. It's kind of like the guys like Western Province, for example, who haven't really been doing that great over the last couple of seasons, and Cobras haven't really been doing well over the last couple of seasons. It kind of gives them almost a second chance to them to really push for it and to get their act in order, in their house in order, because Western Province always used to be one of the top teams in South African cricket. Now we want that to come through. I think this system is coming at the perfect time when Western Province just won the Cubs Week. They're getting their youth into the team now. We get seeing a lot of more youngsters coming through the system. I think that's excellent. I think Northwest, obviously being who they are, and they've been always well known in the regions. them getting an opportunity as well is something that the people really look up to. Now you can see the other guys: Eastern Province, Gauteng, Free State, as well, KZN, Coastal, and Northern. So it's going to be a very, and Gauteng, of course, we know about Gauteng, one of the best academies in the country with regards to infrastructure, the facilities that they play on, everything. So yeah, going to be very interesting to see how they do this, and how these teams are going to compete. My biggest thing is this going to create a more competitive cricket for South Africa? Do you think this is going to create more competitiveness amongst the players and amongst teams?
I do definitely. Uh, Generally, anytime you have a new structure, there's always that question of what to expect. So I think that in itself is going to create uh, a little bit more of an impression on the players. And then I think other than that, there will be that pressure of Division One and Division Two. It also looks like there might be a reshuffle in coaching structures and the staff of teams. So seeing how that goes, I think it's generally just a good shot in the arm for the players and teams in the system, and it will spur performance, in my view, definitely.
Yeah. And what's also going to be very interesting is the transfer market, because that's going to heat up very soon. I think teams are now looking for their players now currently, and they're going to be managers and CEOs running around looking to sign players. Because I mean, if you look at the Cobras, for example, it's from three different provinces. So it's SWD, it's Boland, and it's Western Province. So now those guys that generally would have played for either Boland or SWD are now playing for the Cobras in Cape Town, going to be split up now, and they're going to have to choose which union they want to play for. Do they want to play for Western Province, or do they want to go to the bottom division? So it's going to be very, very interesting, that part. At least, I mean, from a Western Province perspective, they got two teams in the top tier. Then you got the guy like a team like Gauteng, also the same thing. I mean, the Lions are such a strong unit. Where those guys are going to go? The Proteas obviously get to choose where they want to play and what union they want to play for when they do come. So that's going to be very interesting. So we'll have to see what's going to happen with regards to transfers. I think the transfers are going to play a massive role, even for coaches. What team are the coaches going to go? Is Ashwell going to stay at Western Province? Is he going to go somewhere else? Is Robin Peterson going to stay with Eastern Province, for example, or is he going to move from there? Or is the likes of Imran Khan going to stay I think he's still at the Dolphins, so where is he going to go from there? And then it's going to be interesting. Alan Donald is going to stay with Free State. Where is he going to move? He's going to stay. So I'm hinting at probably at the main province for the franchise will probably stay insane, or maybe Ashwell will stay at province, and those things will stay the same. It's going to be very interesting who's going to take those other two positions in the top unit, and who those guys are going to get in as coaches, etc., and which players are going to sign to. Obviously, Northwest, Boland, of course, as well. That's going to be very, very interesting. So, yeah, that's what we have to say about the structures. We do have a question for you, though, Aditya, because you haven't been on the show since we really announced it properly. What are your thoughts on the two skippers? Obviously, Dean Algar and Themba Bavuma.
Thanks for your question, Stax. I'm a fan. I think it was as Dean had stated much before the captaincy was announced that he's the common sense choice. I agree with that. He seemed the most obvious, the most settled test player, and he has that character, that toughness. To be able to really take South African Test cricket back to where it really belongs. After a couple of seasons not going so well. Themba Bavuma, outstanding choice. To me, in a lot of ways, his selection as captain draws parallels to Graham Smith's selection as captain. Where I think Themba's played 6 one-day internationals and 8 T20s. And Graham Smith, from a captaincy point of view, was similarly experienced. But I think Themba Bavuma is a fantastic choice, and more than anything, I'm glad that, irrespective of what people think about the selection of captains, it's put that matter to rest. We know that for the next 2 years, whether you like it or not, Dean and Themba are the captains. Deal with it. These people are going to take South African cricket forward, and let's just put our support behind them. But either way, I think Temba is a fantastic choice for limited overs. I'm excited to see how he leads, and I'd say he's definitely put my top six in the world T20 from a batting point of view. That's I think that no longer applies. Yeah, otherwise I'm happy to see both Dean and Temba be
Awesome.
announced as captains.
Awesome. I just want to say one more thing about the structure, which I'm hoping is going to happen. And because there's kind of less teams now in South African cricket, because you don't have the franchises
Yeah.
anymore, they kind of drop in it, and then it's just provinces, or 15 teams within the provinces. I'm hoping that this is going to mean that those players will filter down to club cricket. And I'm hoping that that strengthens club cricket and university cricket. And then because top players who have played franchise cricket, or not franchise cricket, but semi-pro cricket the entire life, they will be able to bring their sponsors with them to the clubs, and clubs will be able to get more money and then create more competitiveness, and maybe create a bigger draw card on the weekends when the clubs play, so that more guys can come and watch and support these games, and maybe down the line that will meet club contracts in the future, maybe perhaps, and money opportunities, so that kids from school and guys have more incentive to even play cricket from a young age already. They're thinking already, wow, I can, maybe make some money with club cricket. It's not the end of the world if I don't make a provincial team. I still have club cricket to play with, but it's going to be very competitive. And I'm hoping that that happens, and that will increase everything. It will increase the whole infrastructure in cricket. And I hope that happens, that sponsors get involved with club cricket, and then that improves that game and the strength of that game, and the players increase in the competitiveness, so that we can really have competitive structures from school level right through to club, to provincial, and then for the Proteas, SAA, obviously SA merging too, and the SA under 19 setup. Aditya, who would you support in the new structure?
It's a difficult question, but frankly, I'd have to see what the makeup of individual teams would be. But I think I'd support the Western Province teams. They're probably the teams that have followed the most in South African domestic cricket thus far. So I'd say them, and I guess Northwest a little bit as well, because I suppose. But I think my support would be for the Western Province teams.
Yeah. Guys, don't you know Aditya is a Cape Town boy at heart, guys? You don't know that. You don't know that. Yeah, so I'm not going to tell you guys who I'm going to support. I'm going to wait and see which teams get selected and which players are going to be in which teams. And I'll probably follow my support according to which players move from which franchises, etc., and see how I go from there. I mean, I'm always the type of guy that supports my province. It's what I have to do. So between Western Province and Boland, I'm going to have to pick based on what the teams are selected. So that's currently how it's sitting. But guys, after this video is done, I want you to smash the like button, of course, and comment. Today, I want you to comment with who you're going to be supporting in the new structure. Let me know which teams you're going to be supporting in the new structure and what you think about the new structure. Don't forget to share this video, and obviously subscribe and click that notification bell.
I just want to say one more thing real quick, if you don't mind.
Yep.
There were, during the press conference, there were these concerns about some of the Division 2 teams being in economically depressed areas, and the idea that I think generally, because South African cricket has been in a bit of a slump for the last couple of seasons, sponsorship might be an issue and things like that. And this issue wasn't raised in the press conference, but I hope that someone in Cricket South Africa is considering it. But like the English system, where you allow 2 overseas players to be a part of a team, I hope that the South African domestic system allows that as well. Because more than anything, I think it will raise the profile of South African cricket, attract money, and raise the standard of cricket. And that's important, because I think there are countless examples from county cricket that we can draw on. For example, Chris Gale played for Somerset. That tickets were sold out weeks in advance when fans knew that Chris Gale was coming in. Kumar Sangakkara played his last season for Surrey. Not only did he scored some 500s on the trot, and it helped the performance of the team, obviously. But more than anything, it also helped players in the team because of the work that he did behind the scenes. So I hope that that's something that South African cricket is considering or would consider, because I think it would help them. It would help them enormously.
Yeah, and I don't think it will be a major issue now if Colpacks return, for example, because now there's
Yeah,
more teams for them to spread out in. Because there's not many Colpacks around at the moment, I feel, that will be able to come back into the system and really definitely get a spot in teams. So
right.
internationals, that's an excellent point. Internationals, the seasons. Can you give me which seasons? Like, because obviously South Africa's summer is different to other countries' summers. Obviously, are you looking at maybe a switch for switch with county and with South Africa, where some of the county guys maybe come and play in South Africa? Is that what you're looking at?
Definitely. Or, what I'd even say is that, for example, if during the Indian domestic season, like, for example, if Prithvi Shaw doesn't get picked for a test series and he's struggling to play spin bowling, I'd love for Prithvi Shaw to come play, maybe not an entire season, but he can at least
Mm,
play, 7 or 8 or 9 games.
mm.
It would help him improve his game. Ishant Sharma went to England during India's off season. Cheteshwar Pujara goes to England. He plays with counties. So these things are important, and more than anything, I just love for South Africa domestic cricket's profile to increase worldwide.
Yes.
That's important, because once you get more eyeballs, then you start getting the money will flow in, the standard of cricket will improve, and things will keep progressing from there on.
100%. I agree with that one. That will be interesting to see. I hope that they think about that and they try to sort something out with that. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Aditya, thanks a lot for coming on the show. I really enjoyed the episode and I hope you guys did too. Don't forget to do all of those things: like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell and all those things. Also, we released our latest issue of the magazine, so go and download that too. It's on the screen, the link, and in the description. It's free. All issues are free, so just to let everybody know that there's no confusion. Cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your updates too. There'll be reports and all of those type of things there as well. With regards to if you have a small business and you're looking to make sales online, even if your business is offline, get in contact with us. We'll try to help you do exactly that. Get more leads, get more sales, etc. We'll find something that suits you and your business. Even if you know someone, tell them about Cricket Fanatics magazine, get them in touch with us, and we'll try to help them as best as possible. Even if your business is not in cricket, guys, so it doesn't necessarily have to be in cricket. We will try to help you as best as possible. Thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you again tomorrow with another daily show. Take care, everyone.